You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
And we're now going to be talking to Fiona Trigwell. We're going to be talking all about this year's Paul Trigwell Island Run. Fiona, it's always good to see you here.
Thank you very much. It's lovely to be here.
Now, I was wondering if you could start off by telling us, what does the charity do?
Well, the charity was set up to support children and young people who live on the Isle of Sheppey of school age. So between the ages of 4 and 18, we aim to support, as I say, young people who are resident on the island. We support in a whole variety of ways. A lot of it is very difficult to talk about because obviously when you're talking about issues of money, it can be very delicate and it can be confidential. But if I can just give you a few examples, we have supported many talented youngsters because, as parents out there will know, support for music, dance, drama, art lessons are actually very, very expensive to provide for children. So we've supported a lot of our talented youngsters in that way. We have bought warm clothing, uniforms for school, shoes, training equipment as well. We have also supported a lot of the clubs on the island when you've got a time of rising rents. What some of the clubs have found in the past is that they've had to put the subs up for the children, and the children then stop going because obviously they can't afford those subs. So we've stepped in and supported there. We've sent children away on day trips and residential visits, and that's been absolutely lovely because some of those children haven't had a holiday before. So there's a whole variety of ways in which we support the children that are living on the island.
So why was the charity set up then?
The charity was set up in 2007 in memory of my husband, Paul Trigwell, who died in September 2006. His death was very unexpected and very sudden, and in the few weeks after his death, we were actually inundated with a huge amount of money. In actual fact, the money came in the end from all the continents of the world, although obviously the majority of that was from people living on Sheppey, and they were so saddened by his death that they wanted to show their support. And obviously we then needed to decide which children's charity that we were going to give the money to. In the end, the four of us, that's myself and our 3 children, decided that what Paul would like most is for us to give the money to the children that he'd taught with and worked with all of his life. And we thought it was only fitting to do that, and that's why the Paul Trigwell Memorial Fund was set up.
And I was going to ask, what is the run, and how can people support it as well?
Okay, well, the run is now an annual event. This is run number 7. It, again, was set up to raise money for the charity and was something that Paul did when he first came to the island as a young teacher. There are lots of different events in the run itself. There is a 2-mile run, a 10-mile run. There's also a 10-mile walk, which has become extremely popular. Last year for the 10-mile walk, we had over 100 people take part in that. And then there's also a 10-mile relay.
So what's going to be the theme this year?
Well, the theme this year is animals, and from talking to a couple of people that have entered the walk already and are making costumes, I think there's going to be some pretty good costumes out there.
How can you enter?
Well, there are 2 ways to enter. The first is online. The address is www.ptir, which obviously stands for Paul Trigwell Island Run, .org.uk. There's a lot of information on there which will explain all sorts of things and answer lots of questions, and you can actually enter online. It was new last year. We were experimenting very much with that last year, but this year we've got it right, we think, so far. And there is also a phone number, so if you haven't got access to the internet, if you'd like to call this number, which is 07805 803 379. It'll go straight through to an answer machine, but if you leave your name and your number, then we can get back to you and answer any questions that you've got.
So can you actually enter on the day?
You can enter on the day, and again, if you get on the website, it will give you all of that information. What we do like, if possible, is for people to enter before the day, because then we can know how many bags we've got to get sorted for the finish, because everybody gets a goodie bag, and we've also got water stations along the route. So obviously it just helps us with numbers and organisation if you can enter before the day. But if you want to enter on the day, that is absolutely fine as well. We still still love to see you, and you just need to be at each event half an hour before the race starts.
And of course, talking about entering, I was just wondering if you could let our listeners know what day the run is on.
Oh, it's on Sunday the 12th of May.
And I know you wanted to talk about the award ceremony next.
Yes, the awards ceremony is Friday the 21st of June at 7 o'clock, and it's being held at the New Academy West Site in Sheerness. It's an absolutely lovely evening because people come along to collect their medals. Obviously, we have all the winners there who come along to collect their awards, but we have a lot of people. It's a really, really good turnout coming along to collect their medals and obviously congratulate the winners. We also hold a raffle on the evening for all those that have either paid entry money or paid their sponsor money. And in the last 2 years we've done the raffle. The first prize of a bike has been won by one of the young people taking part. Two young girls have won it, and that's been really, really lovely to see as well. So it's a good evening and a very enjoyable one.
Now, before you go, I was just wondering if you can refresh our listeners, of course, when the run is on, and any useful contact details as well.
I will, certainly. The Island Run is on Sunday the 12th of May. There are 4 events: a 2-mile run that starts at 10:30, a 10-mile run at 10 o'clock. The 10-mile relay is also 10 o'clock, and if you want to walk the 10 miles, then that's an 8:30 start. All of this information and more is on the website, which is www.ptir.org.uk, or if you are not connected to the internet or prefer to enter by phone, it's 07805803379. Please come and join us. It's an absolutely wonderful day, and it's making money to support island children.
Fiona, it's always good to have you here at the Monday Night Community Show. Thank you very much for telling us all about this year's Paul Trigwell Island Run.
Thank you very much for having me.